to talk about compositions with this cat as my reference. First, we're going to talk about the value in the compositions and recognize the big shapes and how they relate together to compose an artwork. Okay, I'm first going to sketch that the placement, the cat. I can draw a little bit smaller and I can crop it to the size that I want. And the tail, I sketched it with this blending stump so I can keep it a little bit lighter. Now I want to use the wine charcoal. Wine charcoal is very soft. Very soft, and it's not that dark, and also it's very easy to modify and erase. In this composition study, we're not necessary to spend too much time into the details. More focus on the shape and the areas. So in this study, it's focused on shape, not focused on the line. The line creating the shape, but the line would disappear after it has the shape. And then also work into the second value. Okay, next I want to start define the border. Let's see. Let's see how I want to compose it. Do I want to reduce a little more down here? Maybe reduce some at the top. And maybe leave a little more to the top. But I don't know if I want to have too much space on the top at this point. This is no one straight answer. This is also personal. It's all up to you. How you feel comfortable to cropping into the picture. And in this case, this is almost at the center of the vertical. But the cat here is this breaking. This is center line. is kind of create an interesting solution for a common problem. Maybe I'm going to introduce a little more in the wall, just a little more, like this. And this also a lighter shade as the window sill. Okay, I think we already defined the composition of that. And maybe also include light suggestions of the window frame in the background. It's not that much. It's a couple. Let's see. There's another one over here. And I'm going to erase the outside to make it a little clear. I think this is too close to the border, so I might be just going to let it go. It's kind of too much compete, and maybe even have the border a little bit lower. Like this. Yeah, actually that look a little bit better. Now let's focus a little more on the value composition. Now we already know how we will crop and compose the image. This space a little bit too much, so I'm going to have this a little bit, try to break this big flat shape. Probably have something over here come up. The part of the wall. Am I going to define so that this wall is not a simple flat shape, and this side I'm going to make it a little darker like that, but the whole wall here is not the darkest shape. The darkest shape, and now I'm using a medium charcoal pencil, the darkest shape is actually in the cat body. I use the nitty eraser to get back the white shape. Okay. Now let's continue. Try to see the value contrast and between the big shape, not the small shape at this point. We're now looking into the eye, the nose, and the small areas in the cat or anywhere else. I'm gonna come in here and try to create the backlight and the cat's ear. And the neck, the back neck. In order to have the light to show a little bit better, I need to make the outside a little bit darker. Otherwise, there's no contrast to make the light on the ear and the face to show. So make this a little bit darker. So this is part of the considerations and continuous development and how to balance this, how to find a reason for some light and dark shade. Okay, now on the ear, I'm going to make it a little bit lighter for this light. Okay, now I come back to my charcoal pencil. Define the ear, but the ears is within the shape. Within the shape, so it should not be. It should obey the big relationship. And the nose. And then the tail. Tail is part of the dark shade. The whole face here, even the white on the face, is still part of the shape of the cat. So compare this light to the window. It actually darker. Make sure that it has enough contrast. And now start create a bit more local contrast on the neck. Make it a little lighter, but again I'm using a blending stump now because my finger would be too big to get into the small area. So this should have a little darker. A little darker details. And we're going to get inside the eyes a little bit later. And now we want to create a little more backlight around the ear by using the kneaded eraser. And outside the ear, we actually can pick up this shape of a window to find a reason that they're actually a little darker than the rest of the window. To have the ear pop up a little bit. May not really want to have that much clear define of the window. Just have something there and maybe throw a little bit over here to balance it. Like that. Maybe have this a little bit lighter to clear that. Actually, we forget there's another lake on the other side. So we're gonna move the little a small middle tone, and then we're gonna define, oh, that is actually lighter. And then we come in to use kneaded eraser to create the light strip right here. Like that. It's suggesting that this is another lake. To better define that, I'm going to take a little charcoal into my blending stone. Okay, I can define the shape a little better right here, a little bit darker. For the bigger area, I can use my finger to blend it. And I might also redefine this area. Try to make it a little bit dynamic. Now let's take a look at this drawing. It has three different areas that have three different values. One is the darkest, is on the cat area. The cat now on the wall, now into the windows. Just the three big areas in three different value level. But I want this a little bit more close to their similar value. So I might going to bring it back to a little bit more united, because I maybe overdo the areas here to create too much local contrast to actually distracting from the big contrast, the big composition. Now, in this case, I'm probably going to just let go of the window frame. It looks too much tedious shape. Also soften these transitions. Like this. Maybe this connected little transition. Like a shape like this. Doesn't have to be actually a window. And the window in the distance. Like this. And this side could be a little darker. Like this. And next to the tail, I make a little darker because the shadow. And maybe here a little darker too. In the wall area. This a little darker. Let's try to make the wall itself, the whole thing in the wall, it serves as the middle tone in the whole composition. So you almost can see that is one shape. Two shape. And three shape. So become the darkest on the cat, and the wall become the second, and then the background become the light. So whether or not we want to actually also have something going on here, like some flowers of something, maybe not. I probably have a couple crack like that to show there's something in the wall's too old. I like the old wall. That creates a little bit interest in here. Okay. Now should we define the border? So now this drawing study is done. So now we see, we clearly define three different areas